Welcome back. In this section, we will learn about how to build our sidebar component. So we want to display the sidebar on the left of or this header text and this application. So that sidebar will remain on the left side of our application. So to add that sidebar, let's go back to the code and add a new file named sidebar.js. Inside this file, I'll create a component. We'll use React. So let's just import React from React package. Next, I'll create a function and we'll name it sidebar. This will be a component. We'll have a return method. So we will add the div that will contain a sidebar. So let's just leave it empty for now. Okay, and finally we need to export the sidebar component. So default sidebar. Okay, so this is our sidebar component. Currently, the sidebar component is empty. So let's just start adding content into our sidebar component. So first, I'll assign a class name to this parent div and we'll call it sidebar. Inside the sidebar, we will have two divs, one for the header and one for the content. I'll give it a class name of sidebar header, and similarly this will have a class name of sidebar content. Okay, so inside the header, let's just display an h2 heading and call it sidebar header. And inside the footer, inside the content of the sidebar, first add a heading, sidebar content, and then we'll add a paragraph tag to add some text. So I'll just copy and paste some random text in this paragraph tag. So this is our sidebar component. It has a header and a content area. So let's just import this sidebar to show inside our app. So for right now, our app has a layout. So the layout has the header, the application, and the footer. So we want this sidebar to be on this left side. So we don't need it in the header. We also don't need it in the footer. And we also don't need it in the content. So to add a sidebar component, the app component will be a good area to place our sidebar component. So add sidebar, and we need to import the sidebar component. So let's just import it also. Import sidebar from /sidebar. Okay, so now if I hit save and go back to the browser window, we can see that this is our sidebar. Now we need to handle the styles for this sidebar. But the first step is completed, that we have this sidebar having a header and a content, and inside the content we have some text inside the paragraph. So let's just go back. Inside our sidebar, we have added the CSS class names, but we haven't added any styles. So let's go to app.css file and add styles for our sidebar. So I'll have a selector for sidebar. Similarly, we'll have a selector for sidebar header, and let's just also add selector for sidebar content. Okay, so let's just set the width of sidebar to 100% and height to 100%. Also, I'll set display to flex and flex direction column. So we have the header above the content. So that's why I'm setting the flex direction column. Now if I click save and go back to the browser window, here we have our sidebar, which is taking roughly around 50% of the space. This is because inside our app.js, we have two components. So our layout contains a div. Similarly, our sidebar contains a div. So inside the app component, we have two divs. And if we go to app.css file, we see that we have set the display to flex and flex direction as row. So both the divs are taking roughly the equal space. So let's just change this width to 20% and leave the height 100%. Now if I click save and go back to the browser window, you can see that our sidebar is now on the side where we want it to be. So let's add a background for our sidebar and add different color for the header and the content. So I'll set color to blurry wood and I'll set the color of the content to Azure Mail. Okay, now if I click save and go back, okay, so it has changed the color of the text. So we want to change the background color. So we need to change the color to background color. So now the background color is changed and this is the header and this is the content of our sidebar. So we have added a sidebar for our app. In next video, we'll learn about how to make this sidebar responsive. Thank you for watching.